Welcome to Turnbuckle Talk, presented to you by the uWorldOrder, taking over. Okay, so WWE just had this event called RoadBlock, and I mean, it was a good show. We're here to talk about that today. You'd think with the name RoadBlock, like, the next show, big show after this is a glorified live event. It wasn't really a pay-per-view at all. It was a show before WrestleMania, and you'd think with a name like RoadBlock, you'd be like, okay, gonna throw a spanner in the works here, gonna do something, something big. Let me just say right off the bat, nothing big happened. Not really. Nothing big that will affect storylines for WrestleMania. I mean, a few things did happen. No titles changed hand, which, for an event to be called RoadBlock before WrestleMania and titles not to change hands, that kind of doesn't make it seem worth it, does it not? It's like, why would you call it RoadBlock? Why even have it? Okay, so the first match was the New Day against the League of Nations. It was Sheamus and Barrett representing the League of Nations, and New Day had a very energetic promo, as they always do, before the League of Nations came out, and they were promoting their new Bootio cereal, and it escalated into Kofi Kingston humping a box of Bootio cereal. Yeah. Why? I mean, I love the New Day, but I think that's a bit too far. But anyway, the match itself was pretty good. I mean, I didn't really have any idea. No, not idea, that's not the right word. I didn't really have any other expectation apart from New Day retaining, because the League of Nations aren't that interesting to me. I'm not a big fan of them. I mean, yeah, great, those four guys together, Sheamus, Barrett, Rusev and Del Rio, all together, 4 different nations that aren't American. It's good. Maybe if they added Kevin Owens, arguably could have made it better, but I like the way they just kept Owens out of it, and now he's just kind of on his second Intercontinental Championship run, which, again, arguably shouldn't have happened, but there we go, that's another story. But the League of Nations, they are, interesting, I suppose, but they're not my cup of tea, really. And their match with the New Day, it was good, but it kind of made the League of Nations look terrible. A, because Sheamus and Barrett kept chanting lads, lads, lads during their entrance, and the fact that Big E hit Barrett with a big ending, and pinned him for the 3 count to retain the titles. So at least it wasn't DQ. Take my hats off to New Day for not getting a DQ win or loss. I'd have been a loss. But I would think I'd give that match. I'm not gonna go as far as a 7, but I don't think it's a 6 either. I'll go 6.5. It was okay. It was a good opener, but that's all it is. That's all it was. It was just a good opener. The second match, however, was Chris Jericho, Y2J, versus Jack Swagger. Now, Chris Jericho came out to start with, and they were in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for RoadBlock. And Chris Jericho is Canadian, but he was bashing Canadians, even though he is Canadian, which doesn't make any sense. At least, didn't make any sense to me. And then Jack Swagger's music came out, I guess, because he's a real American, and they were making fun of Canada by a Canadian, and then have an American come out to protect the Canadians from a Canadian. Can you see where WWE's logic lies. I can't. But yeah, Y2J won that match. Pretty obvious. They're just not really using Barrett. Not Barrett. Well, they aren't using Barrett. It's another story though. They're not really using Swagger for much. I'm a fan of Swagger. I'm a fan of Jericho's heel run right now as well. This past SmackDown on Thursday. I should have said this last Thursday on SmackDown. Whatever. Jericho's promo on AJ Styles was pretty good. I liked it was pretty sinister and maniacal because he took the Y2AJ shirt, which by the way, I thought AJ Styles and Chris Jericho were going to stay together as a tag team for a while because they had the t-shirt out, and maybe that's what they planned originally, but maybe they just thought at the last minute, nah, let's just break them up, this is not working, which it was. I was enjoying it. But like, Jericho got the t-shirt, the Y2AJ t-shirt, he put it in a bin. Well, no, he lit it on fire first, then put it in a bin. Basically, what Alundra Blaze did to the Divas title, or Women's title, whatever you want to call it. But she didn't light it on fire, obviously, because metal can't burn. Or can't light on fire, at least. And, the lights went down, and they were dimmed, and like you said, this raging fire from a bin, and then behind it, the way the camera was angled, it was pretty good, because it was like in the foreground you saw the bin on fire, then in the background, on the focused background of Chris Jericho, which was Chris Jericho, was him just on the microphone saying, AJ Styles, and it was really, really good. I don't know, I seem to be the only person who liked that promo. I thought it was pretty good. I like Jericho as a heel. And then, at the end, when he was coming up the ramp, at the end of the match of RoadBlock, there was a sign that says, "Get well soon, Brett." He took the sign and ripped it up. I mean, that sort of stuff is what's missing from heels. Kevin Owens sort of brought it back. Del Rio sort of brought it back a couple of years ago when he was facing Ziggler in a live event, which I'm pretty sure was planned anyway. But I don't know if the Jericho one was planned. Let's not get too into that though. It's just a ripping up sign, you know. The next match was, I'm still calling them the Mechanics, even though they changed their name to the Revival, Dash and Dawson. I'm still firmly standing with them being the Mechanics, because I love that name. I don't get why they renamed themselves. But anyway, they were facing Enzo Amore and Big Cass, and Carmella came down with them too. Haven't seen that in a while. Of course, singing along to Enzo's entrance when he's on the microphone. My name is Enzo Amore. I'm not going to do it, but you get the gist of it if you've watched NXT. You know who they are. And it was a good... I think that match was, for somebody who's never watched NXT before, Dash and Dawson against Enzo and Big Cass was a good showcase of what the NXT stars are capable of. I liked the match. It was a good match. I mean, I'm a bit disappointed that Enzo and Big Cass didn't win, because they're the most over team and the most entertaining team in NXT. Everyone loves them. And you got people like Dash and Dawson. Fair enough, they're good heels. But I think their time as champions had come to an end, and it was time for them to lose them to Enzo and Big Cass, because I don't know how much longer Enzo and Big Cass are going to be in NXT, because the only thing they have to accomplish really is the tag team titles, because they've been in NXT for like a couple of years, if maybe not more than a couple of years, like 3 years or something, and they haven't won any tag team titles or anything. Yeah, I'm sure they've knocked off big names, but they haven't won titles. And if you want to make a team look good, making them win tag team titles doesn't make them good, but it helps. Definitely helps. So I was a bit disappointed in that. I forgot to give ratings for the Jericho and Swagger match. 7. It was pretty good. I'm just jumping ahead. Got a bit excited to describe the match between the Revival and Enzo and Big Cass. That match was, I would say, again, they were above average, but they weren't great. They weren't like, oh, match of the year contender. They were like, it was okay for what it was. I'm going to give the Revival and Enzo and Big Cass a 7 out of 10. If Enzo and Big Cass won the titles, I'd give that like an 8.5 out of 10. Because I'm just trying to think of the crowd, like, popping at that. And seeing how much of the crowd's popping at that, because you would be able to tell who watches NXT and who doesn't by the pop. Because I'm fairly certain not everyone will watch it. Which everyone should watch NXT because it's an absolutely amazing product. But the fourth match, which was, literally just before the match happened, I didn't have any idea this was happening. Now, I'm a massive Natalya mark. You can ask any of my friends who are wrestling fans who speak to me if I like Natalya, and they'll be like, "Yep, the biggest Natalya fan I know." And I mean, I'm not going to be like, "Oh no, I'm not a big Natalya fan." Of course I am. I love Natalya. I think she should have won the Divas title a lot more than once. And her match with Charlotte last night was my favourite match of the evening, and I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because Charlotte and Natalya knocked it out of the park. Best match of the evening, in my personal opinion. They've just got such good chemistry in the ring. And it also helps that I love watching Natalya wrestle because I think her wrestling style is really good. And I love a lot of the moves she does, like the discus clothesline. You never see anyone else do that. And the what's that move? It's like she bounces off the ropes. Her opponent's like sitting down, and Natalya will like run over the top of them and then bounce off the other set of ropes and then give them a drop kick. Love that move. Love the sharpshooter. Basically, if Natalya can do it, I love it. Also, the surfboard. When she locked it in on Charlotte, I was like, yes, because I love that submission. Last person I saw do that was Daniel Bryan. Maybe I'm really out of touch with wrestling, because probably other people have done it since I've seen Daniel Bryan do it. But I may be wrong here, but we don't see the surfboard submission often, and that's why I love it. But yeah, 9 out of 10. It would have been 9.5 if Natalya won the title, but that was asking a bit too much because we've got a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Did you know? 3 out of the 4 horsewomen is going at it, unless we've got NXT TakeOver Dallas the night before WrestleMania, I believe. What if Bayley drops the title to Asuka, which by the way I would absolutely love because Asuka is my girl. I love Asuka so much. That's a different story for another time. If Bayley drops the title to Asuka the night before WrestleMania, and then it becomes a fatal 4-way, the 4 horsewomen going at it at WrestleMania for the Divas title. Oh, that'd be so good. Although, even if Bayley was involved in that match, I'm still going to be sticking to my guns and going for Becky. Because everyone I know who watches wrestling is like, yep, going for Charlotte. And I'm like, I actually like Becky more than Charlotte, I mean Sasha. They're going for Sasha. And I'm like, I actually like Becky more than Sasha. I think Becky doesn't get as much praise as she should, because she's equally as good, if not better, than Sasha and Becky. No, than Sasha and Charlotte. And I think she's just been getting treated really badly recently on TV, and losing all these matches and stuff, and it annoys me. It's the same, like, with Natalya. Like, I don't think Natalya should lose as much as she does, but then, there we go. So, yeah, Charlotte won that, retained, obviously. Then we had Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. Only it wasn't Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, it was Brock Lesnar versus Luke Harper. Now, what this is building to, I don't know. don't know what it could be possibly doing, because with like the fact that Triple H is facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because we'll get to it, but Triple H beat Dean Ambrose in the main event. And I thought maybe if Dean Ambrose won the main event, he would that would be Dean Ambrose, Triple H, and Roman Reigns going at it in the triple threat in the main event. And that would, because now that Dean hasn't won, you would think that he'd be going back to his rivalry with with Brock Lesnar, because he was meant to be facing Brock Lesnar in a street fight. I believe it's a street fight at WrestleMania, but they haven't really grown on that much. They haven't really touched on that much, apart from the assault that Brock did to Dean Ambrose. And now they've got Brock and Bray going at it. Maybe it's a triple threat, I don't know. Thing is, they can't have too many triple threats at WrestleMania, because in my head, the ideas that I've got is going to be like 3 triple threat matches already. Charlotte, Becky and Sasha, Roman, Triple H and Dean, and now Brock, Bray and... No, wait. No, it wouldn't be. It'd be 2 triple threats. What am I doing? I'm involving Dean Ambrose in both. No. But I don't want to see a triple threat between Dean Ambrose, Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt. I want to see a one-on-one. I want to see one-on-one with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. I want to see a one-on-one with Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt. I don't want to see a triple threat, because it takes away from it. But I think it will end up being Brock and Bray, and they're going to make Dean Ambrose muscle his way into the main event, like they did with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. The only difference is the fact that Dean Ambrose is nowhere near as over as Daniel Bryan was at WrestleMania 30. Boy, was Daniel Bryan over at WrestleMania 30. Wow. But yeah, of course, let's get back to the match. Lesnar and Harper. I mean, that itself, when I found out that Lesnar was facing Harper, I'm like, whoa, unexpected match, and I love it. Never thought I'd see Harper face Lesnar, but seeing them square off in the ring together, there's just something about it which is like, oh, it's so cool. And I want to see it again. Only this time, I want to see it longer, and I want to see it less one-sided to Brock and more both ways, because Harper can hold his own. Harper arguably is one of the best in the roster, without a shadow of a doubt. When this whole Wyatt family thing's over, I think Harper is going to be like, I was going to say like Kane, but he won't be like Kane, and he won't really be like Mick Foley. He'll be like one of those hardcore guys, won't he? Because we've seen him and Dean go at it and have incredible street fights. I think which pay-per-view was it? It was Ambrose against Harper. Oh, that was a good match. And they went out into the truck or the ambulance or whatever it was, and they left the arena and they came back and just started fighting again. That was so good. But Harper's definitely going to be... He's got a bright future. He's a one-time Intercontinental Champion so far. And I can see it happen again. I loved when he was Intercontinental Champion as well, by the way. It was great. And I liked the way he carried the belt upside down, so it wasn't the white showing, it was the black on the flip side showing. I kind of liked that. I don't know if he did that deliberately, or if it just seemed to turn out like that, but I liked that. It was good. I get far too impressed far too easily at such a small thing like that. But that's the sort of wrestling fan I am. I take small details on board, and I love it. Sami Zayn versus Stardust, I was surprised. I mean, now looking at it, you wouldn't think I should have been surprised, because we're in Canada, and Sami Zayn is from Canada. In fact, Sami Zayn, is he from Toronto? You know, I'm going to quickly look it up, because if he is, then that's exactly why it happened. But Sami Zayn against Stardust, and I saw somebody online saying before, like, just as the match was happening, it's like, oh great, that's going to be Stardust jobbing again. But But if you watch the match, they got 20 minutes, I think, and it was a really good match. And it didn't make Stardust look weak at all. I mean, in that match, I realised how much I love Cody Rhodes. Where is he from? Oh, he's from Montreal, Quebec. Oh well, still Canada though. Yeah, but Cody Rhodes will Stardust, obviously, but the way I don't know, he's good at everything, isn't he? The amount of gimmicks he's had over the years, he's nailed them all. Dashing Cody Rhodes, the Cody Rhodes who had the mask over his head to cover his nose from Rey Mysterio, Team Rhodes Scholars with him and Damien Sandow, which was brilliant when they had a rivalry when Cody threw the briefcase in the quarry or whatever it was called. Yeah, or the reservoir. I don't know what it's called. Or maybe even the ocean. I don't know. It must have been the quarry. Anyway, sidetracked again. Great. Sidetracking with Robert. Okay. Sami Zayn and Stardust, I haven't been given the other matches ratings, have I not? What other matches have I missed out? I rated Charlotte and Natalya 9. Lesnar and Harper, I'll give 7. Sami Zayn and Stardust, I'll give 8. And Triple H versus Dean Ambrose in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Okay. This match was good. And it's everything you'd expect from Triple H and Dean Ambrose. It had, Triple H on the offensive, literally killing Dean Ambrose, to the point where I thought, well, this is going to be an easy win for Triple H. And then had the flip side, the reverse side, where Dean Ambrose went crazy on Triple H, out of the ring, got him on the announce table, climbed the top of the barrier, dived for a flying elbow. Triple H dodged it, and obviously Dean Ambrose hit the table, went through the table, which looked incredibly sore, and still continued the match for 10-15 minutes, I think, after that. Maybe that's a bit excessive. It was kind of a blur. It's early in the morning it was on, so us people in the UK don't get enough credit for staying up to watch WWE shows live every single Monday, every single Thursday, and every single Sunday there is a pay-per-view. We're up at 1 a.m. watching it. You can bet your bottom dollar we're there, completely destroying our sleeping patterns. But it was a very controversial part in the match with Triple H and Dean Ambrose, and it was the pinfall. And Dean Ambrose pinned Triple H for a 3 count. And I was like, no way. No. How can this happen? How can Triple H lose? And it turned out his legs were under the ropes, which means it doesn't actually count, so the match continued. And obviously, Triple H took the advantage, and he tried to do a leverage pin. I'm pretty sure he tried to put his foot on the first rope, but he put it on the second rope, and it didn't look subtle whatsoever. And it was like, wow. It was only a 2 count, so that wasn't it. But he managed to hit Dean Ambrose with a pedigree, I believe. I'm really out of touch with this. I can't remember much of it about it. I think I was falling asleep, not because it was a boring match, just because I was tired. But yeah, Triple H won, retained the belt, and Dean Ambrose remains the lunatic fringe. And Triple H is going to walk into to WrestleMania as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion for only his second title defense in 7 years. Can you believe that? His last, apart from RoadBlock, his last title defense was in 2009. 7 years ago. That is a long time ago. But I will say this, seeing Triple H as a champion is fresh. I love it. See, I wanted this to happen like a year or two ago, Triple H being the champion. Like, the night after WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan came out or Triple H came out and demanded a WWE Championship match in the main event. And they again knocked out the park, Daniel Bryan, Triple H. Daniel Bryan winning. Wait, did they have a good match, or was it just like a DQ? I can't even remember, you know. I need to really like look up on my wrestling knowledge more. But that was the. Did I rate that match? No. 8 out of 10? That seems a bit generous. But it was good. Okay, 8 out of 10. Alright, overall, I'm going to give the pay-per-view an 8 out of 10. No, not the pay-per-view. Glorified live event. I'm going to give the glorified live event RoadBlock an 8 out of 10. Because, in fact, no, I'm going to give it a 7. I'm not going to be as generous as 8. It didn't advance. It didn't make sense. It's called RoadBlock. You'd think that's going to make titles change hands, or something's going to happen. Somebody's going to interfere. Roman was going to come down in the main event or something. No. Nothing like that happened. So why was it called RoadBlock? So 7 out of 10. It's a solid 7. I mean, I'm not going to go down as far as 6 because that just seems harsh, considering these guys did have some good matches. Although, match of the night, Charlotte and Natalya. Those two are the future of women's wrestling. I don't care if Natalya is probably like a decade or just under a decade older than Charlotte and the rest of the divas. Natalya's only like 33 or something anyway, so she's still got years left. Natalya, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch are the future of women's wrestling. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for tuning into Turnbuckle Talk. I'm not sure when the next one's going to be up, but it might be Raw. It might be WrestleMania. I don't know when I'm going to make these. I'll probably make it show to show, or I might make it week to week. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you all later. UWO for life, baby. Remember that. Remember, UWO. Follow me on Instagram, uWorldOrder. Capital U. Because it's for you. The New World Order is taking over, baby. Okay, goodbye. I've run my time here.